can't tell you how many times I hear this line a few months after closing. I love it here, but I did not know it was going to be like this. St. Augustine looks like a dream on Instagram: quaint streets, Spanish architecture, beaches, live music, date nights in historic downtown, and honestly, a lot of that is real. But living here full time is very different from coming in for a long weekend and grabbing some cute photos on St. George Street. I've helped people relocate to St. Augustine and St. Johns County for years now, and I can't tell you how many times I hear them not really expecting how St. Augustine really is after they've moved here. And that includes the weather. We even saw frost this past winter, which was the coldest we've had in a long time. No snow, and still way better than shoveling a driveway up north, but it's not 80 degrees every single day. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the real St. Augustine, the stuff that doesn't make the highlight reel, so you can make a smart move and avoid some really expensive regrets. I'm including the little things that nobody puts in their listing descriptions, but absolutely show up in your day-to-day life once you live here. Let's start with the #1 shock for people considering St. Augustine. It looks affordable online until you actually run the numbers on living here. A lot of people see Florida, no state income tax, and then they pull up listings and go, oh wow, I can get a place walking distance to the beach or near historic downtown for way less than what I'm paying in New York or New Jersey or California. This is going to be cheaper. That's where the regret starts, because St. Augustine is not automatically cheaper than where you're coming from once you factor in everything. Here are a few big cost realities people miss: property taxes and CDD and HOA fees. When you Google taxes here, you might see what the current owner is paying and think, that's not bad at all. But your taxes reset when you buy, and if you're coming from out of state, that number can jump a lot. Then you add in HOA fees, and in a lot of newer communities in St. Johns County, the CDD fee on top of that. Those can be hundreds of dollars a month that never show up in the estimated payment box that people are casually looking at. Next is insurance, especially near the coast and older homes. If you fall in love with a charming historic house or something close to the water, your homeowners and possibly flood insurance can be a real monthly line item. I see a lot of people who budget perfectly for principal and interest, but they forget that insurance here is not what they were paying in the Midwest. Utilities are also something you need to think about. In this heat and humidity, our summers are long. They're humid, and if you like your AC set low, you will see it on your electric bill. You can absolutely manage it, but you need to go in knowing that year-round sunshine also means year-round AC and dehumidifiers. And here's the part that actually blindsides people. These one or two little numbers they didn't think to ask about can be the difference between St. Augustine fits my budget and why is my monthly payment this high. So when you're looking at homes here, you can't just look at the list price and a rough mortgage calculator. You need to be asking, what will my taxes reset to? Is there a CDD fee or HOA fee in this community? What are typical insurance ranges for this type of home in this location? When I'm working with buyers, we build those into the budget up front so that the payment you fall in love with is the one you still like 6 months after you move here, not just the one that gets you excited on Zillow. Let's talk about St. Augustine weather, not the brochure version. Here's where we have those amazing winter days where it's sunny and 65. You're walking downtown in a t-shirt while your friends up north are shoveling snow. Yes, you can sneak out for a beach walk in January and actually enjoy it. That's the version everybody posts about online, but here's the part you don't usually hear. Our winters can actually feel cold, especially if you're expecting Cancun in January every day. We absolutely get mornings in the 30s and 40s, and this past winter, we even saw a frost. It was the coldest winter we've had in a long time here. Still no snow, and it's a whole lot better than scraping ice off your windshield up north. But if your whole plan is, I'm only coming for the winter months because I want it hot every single day, you might actually prefer to be further south in Florida. Then we've got the other side. Our summers are long, hot, and humid, and that combo is going to test how badly you really want to live here. From about late May through honestly into October, you're talking step outside in the middle of the day and the heat and humidity will likely be too much. Your hair, your clothes, your car, everything is going to feel that humid air. But I still say humidity is good for the body, the joints, and my curly hair. So that is just something you're going to have to deal with if you move here. One of the biggest mistakes I see buyers make when moving to Florida is trying to recreate the house they had up north. Same square footage, same layout, same storage. First off, storage works differently here. There are no basements, and no, you cannot shove a lifetime of stuff into a scorching hot attic and pretend it's the same thing. If you're coming from a big colonial with a a full basement. You can't just copy and paste that setup and expect it to function the same way in Florida. Here's what that really means. You either get very intentional about what you bring, or you budget for real storage solutions. Sheds where they're allowed, or even offsite storage if you truly need it. And on top of that, your garage will fill up faster than you think with beach chairs, umbrellas, coolers, bikes, kayaks, all the "we live near the coast now" gear you didn't own before. Florida homes live differently. And once you understand that, the whole search gets a lot easier. Up north, you might be used to spending 5 months of the year sitting inside because it's too cold to enjoy being outside. Here, you're going to be outside more than you think. Morning coffee on the patio, evenings on the porch, kids in the yard almost year-round. So a covered outdoor living space matters way more than having a formal living room you never use. If you're trying to recreate your exact northern floor plan here, you're going to be frustrated. The people who are happiest in St. Augustine lean into that outdoor lifestyle and prioritize a good lanai, covered patio, or outdoor area you're actually going to live in. Day to day, that means you start doing dog walks and workouts early in the morning or later at night. You time your beach days around the sun, the storms, and the tide, and you learn pretty quickly that we'll just walk everywhere downtown is a very different experience in August than it is in February. Here's what I tell every buyer. This isn't something most people get used to. It's something you learn to work around. You change when you're outside, you change what you wear when you're inside, and you definitely change how you plan your weekends. On the flip side, if that mix of real seasons plus real heat doesn't scare you off, the payoff is huge. Fall and winter in St. Augustine are incredible. The nights of lights, cooler evenings, less brutal sun, still plenty of beach days. That's when people message me like, okay, now I get why people rave about living here. Now let's talk about the uninvited roommates and little quirks that don't show up when you're scrolling photos. The nature, wildlife, and everyday friction that come with living in coastal Florida. St. Augustine is beautiful, and it's still Florida. That means you're going to meet bugs, palmetto bugs, mosquitoes, no-see-ums, love bugs at certain times of the year. They are part of the package. You might run into lizards on your porch, frogs around the lights, and the occasional snake if you're near more natural or marshy areas. If you're near water or preserve, you're signing up for more critter activity, period. Here's how I see it. Newcomers have a strong reaction the first time a palmetto bug flies at them in the kitchen. Or they realize, oh, that's a gator in the retention pond by the neighborhood. There's no YouTube video that fully prepares you for that first experience, but here's what actually happens over time. You get pest control on a regular schedule. You learn to keep certain doors closed, certain lights off, certain cracks sealed. You stop leaving food or pet stuff outside because you don't want to invite extra visitors. And eventually, a lot of it just becomes background noise. You're not thrilled about it, but you're also not shocked every time you see a lizard on your lanai screen. If that kind of thing is a hard deal breaker for you, like the idea of seeing a bug or a gator once in a while keeps you up at night, that is something you want to know before you sign a contract here, not after. Because this is real life in coastal Florida, and the people who love it learn to coexist with all of it instead of pretending it doesn't exist. Here's something relocating buyers genuinely don't see coming. St. Augustine during peak season. If you're thinking about living near historic downtown or the beaches, you're not just buying a cute house, you're buying into a tourist destination. That means weekends and holidays, especially in winter and around events, your quiet streets can turn into a parking hunt. Nights of light season, gorgeous, magical, and also packed. Restaurants, streets, parking, garages, everything fills up. Beach access on a random Tuesday morning, no problem. On a sunny holiday weekend, better plan your timing. Certain corridors fill it the hardest. Anywhere close to historic downtown, the main beach accesses and the routes in and out of the city during big events. As a local, you get good at adapting. You learn the back way around certain roads when visitors are flooding in. You hit your favorite spots at off times. You have a couple of local only places you escape to when downtown is shoulder to shoulder. It's not a deal breaker for most people, but if you're moving from a very quiet small town or rural area, your first tourist season here can be a shock. You just need to know that that same charm that draws you here is what draws everyone else here too. Now for the part almost nobody talks about in relocation videos, and it's a huge reason some people end up unhappy after they move: the job market. St. Augustine is not one big single job market. Depending on whether you're in St. Augustine proper, St. Johns County suburbs, or commuting up towards Jacksonville, we're looking at very different industries and commute patterns. Here's the basic breakdown I walk people through. Historic St. Augustine and the beaches. This area is heavy on tourism, hospitality, restaurant, bar work, small local businesses, and service-based jobs. If you're a remote worker or you already bring your income with you, living close to downtown or the beach can be amazing. If you need a high-paying local job right in town, there are options, but it's not the same as being in the middle of a big metro. St. Johns County suburbs, which is out towards the 95 and newer communities, you see more families here, more master plan communities, schools, and some local professional services and healthcare. A lot of people in these neighborhoods commute to Jacksonville or work hybrid remote. Your commute patterns and your lifestyle are very different here than if you're in a tiny historic cottage downtown. Commuters up towards Jacksonville, if your career is in finance, logistics, healthcare, corporate roles, that type of thing, you're probably looking at St. Augustine as a home base and Jacksonville as the work hub. That means you want to be honest about commute times and what that actually feels like day to day. Now, if you choose the wrong part of the area for your job, for example, you need to be in Jacksonville every morning at 8 a.m., but you bias for as south and east as possible because the photos are pretty, you can end up with long drives, fewer opportunities, and an income that doesn't really line up with your cost of living. Your industry and how you work, remote, hybrid, offsite, onsite, should shape your home search here just as much as your lifestyle wish list does. So here's the bottom line. Moving to St. Augustine can be the best decision you ever make or the most expensive lesson you've ever paid for. The difference isn't, is St. Augustine good or bad? It's whether you pick the right part of the area for your budget, your job, your lifestyle, and your day-to-day reality, not just your Instagram feed. It's insurance, taxes, weather, wildlife, tourists, commute, schools, and honestly, your personality. Not every corner of St. Augustine is going to fit every kind of person, and that's okay. If you want help figuring out where you'd actually be happy here, not just where the prettiest pictures are, there's a link to my relocation guide below in the description. And if you're looking a little wider, maybe Jacksonville, maybe the beaches, maybe just somewhere in the Northeast Florida area, I also work with top agents across the region. So if it's not in my backyard, I'll connect you with someone who truly knows their area, not just whoever showed up in a random ad. If this was helpful, let me know. Ask any questions that you would like in the comments, or feel free to reach out. Call me direct or email me. I hope you found this video helpful. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.